Why, hello everyone, my name is Wrath. I'm here with Adis and Tough Nuts. I'm pointing on stream, not, that probably looks weird for you guys, but on stream, Adis and Tough Nuts. We are here discussing Under the Table. This is a post-game talk show where we break down the episode, the adventure, the campaign as a whole, and basically everything's open to discussion. I'm going to do my best not to give away any spoilers, but you're more than welcome to ask anything, talk about anything, discuss anything. It could be anything from character creation to what you guys think of your characters, each other's characters, NPCs, the story, the missions, the quests, anything. Everything's open. So even chat, you guys can contribute if you guys have questions or want to ask us, myself, or them anything. It's all open. I'm gonna leave it to you guys first. I have stuff I want to discuss, but I'm curious. Do either of you have anything off the top that you want to get out?
I mean, first things first. I had a lot of fun.
That's
good.
Fun
adventure. Fun time. Great time.
Yeah, that was wild. I was telling them during our first break. I was telling my players here. Basically, half of this adventure so far, half of this session was completely unscripted. I was showing Adis. I have just a quick little paragraph introing the adventure and being like, okay, you guys get off at the dock. What do you do? That took about an hour and a half because then they went on a whole adventure of ramming a blockade and all this. None of that was. I was just like, you guys. The sentence was. I started out with saying, you guys arrive. The sunshine sparkling. There's a dazzling light of the display of the sunshine and the waves crashing. Do you remember that? I was like, how we started this whole thing. That was you arriving at Arwen's Rest. And then I was like, during your trip, you lost your ship to escape the blockade. How did that happen? And that turned into an hour and a half long adventure that I hadn't planned. I was just like, oh yeah, we like snuck past, or like they blew us up as we were going by or something. Like, I don't know. I was like, we dashed on the rocks. No, this was an hour and a half long adventure, which I didn't expect, but I'm so for. It was so much fun. I feel like it was so much character development during that. You guys met different key things. You learned a lot about kind of what's going on in the world and stuff, and it surprised me. But yeah, so half of this adventure was this session was completely off the fly.
Off the cuff.
But they seemed to have fun. They didn't die. Oh, yeah. They almost died.
I thought we were done. Yeah, I thought we'd have to create new characters for number 2.
Like, well, I tried. Didn't work. No,
I knew the world was unforgiving, but I thought we'd at least arrive at our location.
Get to the start of I didn't even finish the first paragraph. You almost died. Oh man, that was interesting. We started out with you guys setting out with all these hopes and dreams. You're like, yeah, and then we come to find out Gnimwirt's drowning naked. Adarag's barely holding on. Lost everything. What a ride.
My boat.
Yeah, so that was a big note that I wanted to talk about. That just went so far off the beaten path, and I was like, what the fuck? Another thing, so what did you guys think of people you met? You met the Bugbears. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on that interaction?
Yeah, they're not very nice. They took my boat.
They did.
Yeah. It felt very real. I wish that I don't know. Like, my character really hasn't involved himself with politics, and so he's just not used to that world.
Yeah.
He's kind of used to like kind of getting what he needs, and
it's kind of like a shock. You're like, oh, this is what it's like outside the city. Like, you're not treated as a celebrity of the academy.
Right.
Like, they call you worm and like just took your stuff and like they drop kicked him off the boat. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I felt very helpless, which I think was appropriate for my character.
Yeah, I think
so.
Remember, none of that was written. But I think it worked. Like, that's the thing, is like, as a DM, I know how the world is supposed to work, so I can just come up with it off the fly because I know what how these guys would treat you guys in your situation.
Yeah.
And so
I was trying to think in that situation, like, what could my character, like, engineering wise do? And I tried to do those things. I failed at all of them.
I mean, you had stuff on the boat. You could have just started like building a bomb or something. You Could have been like,
Yeah,
oh, here, take the boat, and then you guys hop off the boat, and the boat goes up, and they take it, and then blows up the flagship.
Well, yeah, but they had a whole fleet. You know,
You're two little guys in the ocean, like, oh, who blew up the ship? I don't know. Get to the ship, save everybody, and you're
Yeah.
just like, ha ha ha.
yeah, I think I took the situation as like,
You,
we have
you
to-
didn't do anything wrong by any means.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you have options. Like,
yeah, yeah, that's gonna be a challenge. I can tell for like this campaign for me, like it's gonna be a challenge to think of things.
I'll
Like
give
that.
you a lifeline if you're ever just like, is there anything my character as an engineer would think to do? And we can take a second to quick brainstorm and just be like, yeah, let's see what options do you have. Let's think on that. Like, I'm more than willing to help.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
like
I'll
I
have to do
said,
that more.
in Baldur, we talked about this during Drinks and Discussions. During Baldur's Gate 3, like, I'm supposed to act as a super sniper stealth assassin. It's going to take me a second to be like, okay, what would that do? Because I'm not a super... So just like... Well, I was going to say, your character's an engineer, but you are an engineer, so...
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a different setting.
Yeah,
You know?
but it is different. So, if you ever need help to think on that, that's perfectly fine. So you had the interaction with them. You had your first big challenge, swimming. Did that go as you expected? Adarag got Spartan kicked in the head.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I got
Basically-
Spartan kicked in the lungs.
Did you?
He failed it.
with
Failed
water.
critical.
Oh, because he kicked by the ocean. Yeah. Basically, I didn't want to bring in combat because you guys really aren't combat characters, so I figured you wouldn't be getting into combat. So that's why, like, I didn't have you really take damage. Like, when you got Spartan kicked in the head, you should have taken damage. But I was like, you
Should
know
have probably
what?
taken it.
I'm not gonna force it. Like, this is just a tutorial. Like, I'm just, let's. So getting past all that, you guys barely made it through the ocean. That's very similar, and I didn't mean for this at all, but it's very similar to Grunkle and Torvekik, played by Pickles and Fred, trying to get through the mud pits. They did not make it through the first mud pit, and Torvekik went down and was dying underneath the mud pit, suffocating. And Grunkle had lost some of his gear diving back in to save this dwarf. So, kind of similar. You saved Gnimwirt. You guys met Bartholomew and Hawthorne of the Emerald Enclave.
Yep.
You guys learned a lot. Holy shit. The Rok'Kar Empire with the Corsair fleet. The Emerald Enclave. Bunch of NPCs. Any thoughts on them?
So they're kind of like the main occupying force that's kind of in that ocean right now.
Are you talking about the
The Rok'Kar fleet.
Yeah, the Rok'Kar
the
fleet.
blockade.
Yeah, they've got a blockade up. Remember, per your guys' writing, Starhaven is not a military founded city. It is a science founded city.
Yep.
So the Rok'Kar Legion was very able to.
Just move in.
Yeah, there wasn't really a defensive force at that
Yeah.
time. Things could change, but you guys are no longer there to see it.
Yeah, I think I was surprised, like when you started like exploring the ship, Adam, to like see what they had, and like, I get that your character's a smuggler, but I thought like you've been like announcing that I'm a smuggler to like everyone we encounter, and like I think Gnimwirt would have thought he'd be more like covert about it.
Maybe you guys weren't as close as you thought. You've never gone with him on his expeditions.
Yeah, no,
He just
I'm
showed
learning.
up with stuff, and you're like, "Oh, cool! You probably know what you're doing." And then you're with him, like, "You have no idea what you're doing."
Well, I mean, he's been a successful like smuggler in the past,
Has
so
worked. He's
I
got weird
figured
methods,
what he's
but it's
doing is
working.
working, but not what I expected.
Yeah. So yeah, the Emerald Enclave is a faction that is at large. You guys made it to Arwen's Rest. You got your first eyes on Arwen's Rest. Was it as expected? You guys have heard a little bit about Arwen's Rest before, but
Yeah, kind of dark, dreary, but I like the bar.
yeah, the bar is supposed to feel like a safe space amongst the storm kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
supposed to have that home vibe. And that's kind of Liliana's job, is to make that place feel at home for the patrons, because they all live miserable lives up there. So it's like, hey, this is the spot where you can come in and be welcomed and feel warm, and we've always got the fire going, and we'll take care of you. So that's the vibe it's supposed to give.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Also, Elder Orlane, you mentioned that like that was not how he was meant to be written.
No, I started like voicing him and role playing, and I just enjoyed it so much more than what I had written for his character. Like how he was supposed to be like more rigid and more like stern, and he's not. He's a kooky old man.
Yeah.
But I love him. I was like, damn, I actually
Has
really like this
Gnimwirt and
character.
Torvekik met him?
They have not met Elder Orlane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they went a different route. I don't want to give too much away, but you got some. They met Hunt Captain Kyler,
Gotcha.
and they interacted with him, and then set out. So they didn't really meet a whole lot of other people.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that like I want to think about, because people keep asking like why we're here,
Mhm.
like why are you in Arwen's Rest? And
Because it's not a tourist town. That's why he's like, oh, are you here for the carnival?
right, and I guess I hadn't put much thought into that in the sense of like what we would tell people, because I feel like our characters wouldn't just say, "Oh, I invented an explosive and it was stolen and brought here." Like,
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't.
What?
Yeah, I wouldn't just like announce that to the world,
Yeah.
because I want to keep it like hushed.
Well, so far you guys have successfully dodged the question, because I
Yeah.
mean, like with Liliana, you're just like, so food? And she's like, oh yeah, of course, my bad, and kind of dropped the topic. And then with
Yeah.
Elder Arlane, he just kind of distracted himself, so it saved you guys from having to answer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I want to go on like these adventures. Like we kind of have 3 leads now, and we got to pick one.
Basically, you know that 3 different parties have recently set out from town. One to the south,
Yeah.
one to the east, and one to the north, for different reasons. Kind of.
Right.
2 of them are for the
Right.
same reason. One of them's for a different reason.
So yeah, Liliana wants us to go find the friends, so she must have connected with them. The Huntmaster, the Captain Kyler, and Jonathan are looking for like source of the badness.
Mhm.
And then so I'm imagining that's connected. And then the other one is Griff and his son Mateo, which I feel like our characters have a stronger connection to,
Yeah.
with the
Through
exception of
Adis.
Liliana wanting us to go after the other adventurers for some reason.
You guys are also. This is me not trying to give away any spoilers. You guys don't have all the information. You guys have just shown up in town. You're hearing one side of the story.
Yeah. Well, and also meta gaming a little bit. If we went after the adventurers, I would imagine we wouldn't find them because they're not here to play their characters. So
true, but there might be other interaction. I mean, there is. I'm the DM. I write this. There is other interactions that you could stumble upon the way that will obviously be good. You can go any direction. You're gonna find different stuff depending on where you go and what you interact with. Like, for example, their party, Torvekik and Grunkle, went a direction, so they get to interact with the stuff that is in that direction. If you guys go that direction as well, there's going to be different stuff you guys will interact with. That's why I've pitched it as a hook. There's a reason for it. There is different stuff for you guys to interact with. It's not like you guys are just going to fail because you're not going to be able to find them because they aren't here. If you guys go north or south, depending on Hunt Captain Kyler versus Griff, you're going to find different stuff depending on which way you go.
Yeah. I think we had like a small moment to talk like alone with each other, which was good. I think it would have been like I feel like our characters need a extended period of time to kind of make a plan.
I agree.
In character.
Yeah.
Basically,
I kind of wrapped it up because we were at that time limit.
Yeah. But the reason I say that is because I think we both have goals that and just by the nature of those goals for our characters it's stuff that we wouldn't just disclose to the town.
Mhm.
Um, and I want to help Griff. Like, I think my character overall, like, he's all for like the well-being of people. Like, he wants to help. Um, but he also has his own motivations, and I think I want to get that rolling. Like, we know about my power for the future,
Mhm.
and like I'd like to start developing a plan for that. And
I think, given the current situation, I think that really helps it as well. I mean, you don't have to like every session be making progress. This could be the session where you're like, this world isn't as safe as my academy. I need protection.
yeah,
This smuggler isn't my protection. He just ditched me on the boat. He's not here to protect me. He's got his own stuff going on. I need protection. That could be like part of your power building, because it's giving you incentive to be like, maybe I should start working on something.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So yeah, I'm gonna try to start doing that as soon as I can, because I think I've realized quickly that I'm very incapable in the world.
Yes.
You don't have street smarts. You got book smarts, but you're
Yeah.
a little out of place out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys have made it to Arwen's Rest. You guys got a couple of different hooks going on. I think going into next session, I mean, you guys tell me, what is your plan going into next session? You guys have mentioned you kind of want some alone time to talk and discuss.
Yeah.
You have a couple of different hooks. You guys seem fixated on one. You guys could 100% just go find Griff. You could investigate, get more information. You guys could perform your own investigation, start searching for stuff. You guys could interact with other people. You could find other NPCs that you haven't talked to yet. You guys could do all kinds of stuff. You could start investigating the reason Gnimwirt's here. Start investigating that case. Supposedly, Adarag has a stash nearby.
Yep.
Go find that. There's a bunch of different options. So what is your guys' plan going into next session? What's kind of the idea? And this will help me be more prepared to give you guys aid and assistance.
Sure. So like we talked about, I think we're going to at least spend a little bit of time, because I also mentioned that we got a stay at the inn there. I think we would take some of that time just during midday while everybody's out and about to kind of game plan, see what we're feeling, how things are going, and then I think, because Adarag, that's the other thing, is I'm still trying to get used to some of the character sheet system. Like, I'm still not sure how some of the just like the interface itself, how it works, which is something we could probably talk offline about a little bit. But
it is different. It's definitely not like on table in person where you just have your sheet and roll based off what it is.
Yeah,
This one, there's different stuff. You click, you drag,
Yeah, and my big thing is like like some of the items, like how do I apply? So I was talking about that earlier about like applying the what was it, the Folkbane? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, which you didn't get a chance to, but
Yep.
the way you would do that is we role play. You roll your weapon attack as normal, so you roll your weapon attack to hit him, and then I would know, okay, but your blade is also laced with this poison, so then we apply that poison's effects as well. If you hit, then you apply that poison's effects. We roll for whatever it has to apply.
Gotcha. And then would that delete Folkbane from my inventory?
One dose. I don't know how many doses you have, but that would be one dose, and then you can apply a second dose to your blade. I'd also I will actually, you guys are taking notes, right? Can one of you guys take a note from me to research? I kind of want to figure out how long would that stay on your blade, because if you have a poison blade, you hit him once, you could hit him again, and it would still apply it. I feel like it should last a little longer than just one strike. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of a waste. Like, I don't want to screw you guys like that. You're like, wow, that cost me a lot of money, and I only got to use it once. Like, it should last a little longer. So I think I need to come up with some kind of system for that.
Yeah. As far as next session plans go, I think our characters are probably leaning towards so it seems like there's a sense of urgency to go find Griff and his son.
Mhm.
Like there's kind of a time piece because like he just left, so it's probably a lot easier to find him now.
From the sound of it, your characters are able to do. It seems like everyone just left.
Okay, so everybody just left.
Yeah, all three parties
Right.
basically just left this morning. Two of them around the same time. Griff following that.
Okay. And so in that case, like the longer we wait, the harder it's going to be to find any of these groups, just logically.
Mhm.
So I feel like that would be a sense of urgency for our characters, but I also am very much interested in like sitting down with Adarag and discussing, like, hey, we're not ready for this world as our adventure just showed. Like, here's what I'm thinking. Let's talk about how we can make this happen too.
Mhm.
I want to start revealing that to his character.
Yeah, so going into the next session, we're looking at two possible options. One, setting out on an adventure to help one of the affected parties, primarily leaning towards Griff. Two, picking a moment to sit down and discuss. Depending on which order those come in, you're going to have different effects.
Yeah.
I'll give you that hint, but
would we be
obviously
able to
both can be successful. Both are very
Yeah.
possible. Obviously, this is D&D, or Zweihander. You're supposed to succeed, so both are possible. It's just going to affect you differently depending what you guys do.
So I'm thinking maybe we do something because we could also have the same effect of just getting outside the city walls on our way to go find Griff. We might have a little bit of time to talk along the road outside of on our way to it.
I think that's a good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So probably that. I think we will act with urgency on the child thing because I think
Okay.
that seems really important.
I'll be prepared. Anyways,
And
that's it for.
background-
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
you.
going to say, yeah, background knowledge might be like helping the innkeeper might be good for our pocketbooks as far as lodging and food and meals.
That's definitely a way I could see Adarag leaning like, hey, I gotta help him help us,
Exactly.
That's it for Under the Table, guys. Episode 1 of King's Crossing, the second saga. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Players, we all enjoyed.
Loved it.
We're good. We'll be back next week for a second episode on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. If you guys want to see the live streams, those go down on twitch.tv/theofficialwrath. If you want to catch these over on YouTube, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you. If you want to catch these over on YouTube, I believe it's The Official Wrath. I need to make a command for it. We'll figure it out. Anyways, thank you guys. Huge shout out to the homies. They are co-stars over on Drinks and Discussions, which goes down every Monday. They're also new DM and player in
Lost Mines of Fandelver.
Lost Mines of Fandelver, going down Sunday nights, but not streamed, not broadcasted, but will be talked about over on Drinks Discussions. We're going to keep up with their session, kind of get an update week by week, kind of getting a feel for it. That's all I got. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, players, and we'll see you next time. Later.
Cheers.